Testing 1, 2, 3. Mark.
Hello, Peter. Hi. How is the game going to be played today? Are we all going into Tabletop Simulator or just sharing a screen here?
Once I think Ed is hosting it, and I'm sure he'll put the server name and password in the manual urban environment channel. I think probably is where he'll put it. I'm about to ask him to do that. Give me one moment.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll just sit back and drink my coffee.
All right, so yeah, I just called him out in the manual urban environment channel. So hopefully he'll give us the server name and password here shortly, but he's still setting a couple things up. Just give him a moment.
Cheers. So should I? Okay, I'll just hang around here.
Where are you out of, Mark? If you don't mind me asking.
The UK. I know Ed and a chap called Ian Robinson. We sort of. Speak of the devil, I spoke. I said your name, Ian, and you appeared as if by magic. Excellent.
Ian Mephistopheles Robinson.
Yeah, I'm going to go on silent mode because I'm just watching the last of the FA Cup final. So I'll be quiet for a bit.
Ian, what's the score? I completely forgot about it.
Well, it's Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1.
Ooh,
and it's the last minute. So I'll be back in a sec, guys.
Yep, no worries.
So that's it's high scoring.
The Super Bowl.
So us Americans
would say that's high scoring. That's not a bad score for a football game. It's not like an American football or a basketball. It means that it's been end-to-end stuff. And to be honest, Man City, Man United, there's years of... It's like a Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins sort of.
Sure, absolutely. I followed Chelsea for a little while, not for long.
Oh right, okay.
I'm kind of a third place fan for some reason. I like I like the teams that are a little bit the underdogs, and then I just kind of watch the underdogs as they are. So.
Well, if you talk to a long time, and I mean a long time, Manchester City fan, they were always the other team in Manchester, but it was the local team that a lot of locals would support. Then, in recent years, the flood of money in has created a surreal experience for them. It's. Can I say it's traditionally that the English thing go for the underdog, particularly in football, in sports like that. The thing about Premier League football, there's the top six, and then there's other people, and every now and again, somebody comes from the pack, as it were, and has an incredible run. My home team has sort of been relegated to the first division football now. So
yeah, I know.
Just don't get it.
I know the term relegated now from watching Ted Lasso. So
excellent. Oh dear.
That is the American primer now, unfortunately, but it's also a great program too. But I still can't tell you. I still have no idea how offsides actually works, but I'll just run with it. Hey, I still can't do that for hockey either. So,
well, it's become a little bit more complicated with VAR. Instead of it kind of becoming more sensible, there's more controversy going in. It was always a subjective thing, whether somebody was going forward on the line as the ball was played.
That's borderline figure skating judgment.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit like, I don't know, the other sport that is kind of typical British or English is cricket, and there's something called LBW, leg before wicket, and it's a subjective call by the umpire, a bit like a strike. Or a ball in a baseball.
Yeah, but they always like a lot of sports like to have that, right? They like to have that contention almost. It's almost like a self-deprecating rule.
Yeah, and it it's in a way that how can I say that the umpire can influence the sport to still be a sport rather than just a mechanical thing. Because in cricket now you have the Hawkeye, and you have the ability of something that somebody a bowler says, I thought that was leg B or four, and the umpire disagrees. Well, he can ask the computer now. Or sometimes the umpire says, well, it's too close to call, let's see what the computer says. And a lot of the old players are aghast at this because they said, well, the benefit of the doubt used to go to the batsman. And it's almost too cruel now.
Interesting.
Hey guys, sorry to ruin the cricket chat.
Not a problem.
The room is live on Tabletop Simulator. I've put the
Oh,
password
right.
in the chat. I'm sharing a screen, but you're going to have a better understanding of it if you can all jump into that. If anyone's got any issues, then
Okay.
let me know.
So, me being silly here. So, it in the manual urban environment, is that the, or is it
No,
where
just
the pass-
in this channel 01 that you're in.
Right. Okay.
There's a speech bubble icon. You click that, open that, will give you the chat.
Oh, right. I just clicked on it. So much for me being the tech wizard here. Speech bubble. I can see myself, Ian, Peter, Ed.
In the left-hand column of all the channels and things you can click on.
Got ya. Yeah. Oh, okay. Password. Right. Now, let's see if we can fire up Tabletop Simulator then.
That's weird. I don't.
So Peter,
I don't
my suggestion is that we let Mark and Ian play, and you and I sort of observe and do rule checking, because that's going to be the main effort.
The one thing is I'm not. Oh, never mind.
Found it?
Yeah. Now I. Still not seeing your game, but that's weird.
Ed, I can't actually run tabletop sim from my phone, so
you're on your phone.
I'm on my phone.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
So I can observe, but I can't play.
Okay, Peter will sub in. No worries. Okay.
I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to crack tabletop sim in Linux yet, so I'm hoping to be able to do it at some point.
Linux?
But it doesn't play yet. Yeah.
Okay, it's a public server.
Okay,
It's called Tapestry.
I just found it. I think you invited me. Helped.
Yeah. I haven't got Mark as a friend on Tabletop Sim, so. Okay. Yeah,
now, it's been a while since I've been in Tabletop Simulator, so I've got some patches to apply. 4%. Disaster,
right.
isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I'll
2%, 2%.
Okay, you just fire it up as you go. I'll just give a quick intro. So, Peter, do you want to play red? And Mark, do you want to play blue?
That will be fine. The results will probably be similar. So go for it.
So no one's really like playing for the sake of playing. This is to play test it. So what the scenario is? This is an imaginary abstracted Copill down. You effectively have north is on the blue side, south is on the red side. Red's going to be in defense. So Peter, you're going to have everything that's on your platoon board at the moment. So you have 3 squads and a load of dummies. I just want you to deploy 1 squad, but you can put all the dummies out, and you can put the platoon leader out.
Do you want me to stay
and
behind?
You can go.
Do you want me to stay behind the line? There's like this blue. I'm gonna stay behind this or something. You know what I mean?
I'd say don't go any further than this this red pawn that I put up here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you go really far forward.
All right, that's cool. All right, I'm just gonna randomly do it for now, and then I'm gonna
So you
randomly
just start
put it
putting
up now, and then I'll fix it here.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. And
I guess everybody else avert your eyes while I'm doing this. I don't know, whatever.
yeah, Mark's not even in yet. Don't worry. So I'll just spin the board around.
You said otherwise you just wanted me to put one element out? Is that
one squad's worth? Because what I want to do is try bringing on squads for defense at various points in the game.
And you're doing squads vertically here, is that correct?
Yeah, vertical stack of squads.
Right here. Okay. Let's do this.
You've got 2 squads that are the same and 1 squad slightly different, so you might want to consider which one you want to put out. That's fine. And then blue's got the phalanx platoon. So it's got the advanced British fictional urban fighting rifle platoon. So it's got it here, and that's all going to come on wherever Mark wants to bring it on from the top of the board. The rough objective is that the blue is trying to secure this corner of the map as a junction to then fight into the rest of Copial Down, which is off the map. So there's definitely a direction of travel. Red is just trying to defend the map in general. Okay, in terms of the map, we've got mostly brick buildings that are 2-story. There are a couple of 1-stories. I've marked all the buildings, almost all the buildings, with the stories that they should have.
Oh, just thinking about where we want to be.
Nearly there, gents. 95%. Hunter Right's updating now. Oh, gosh, it's one of those false 100%.
Can I just ask a quick question, Ed, about the combat resource markers you got out there? Is everything stacked in the right position for your start?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and again, we're going to try and do the consumables. We're going to try and do as much of the stuff as we can because a lot of it hasn't been tested altogether. I've got some vehicle ones, but we'll start with them off the map and we'll bring them on depending on the complexity. So the vehicle cards are here. The vehicle icons are here. I hadn't managed to quite make things stand up on edge. So some things are lying flat, but those are the things that should lie flat anyway. So the drones all lie flat. The loitering munition lies flat. The vehicles currently lie flat. They just would have a hidden side and a revealed side. And I've got civilians over here, which we will roll for according to it. And I've got 16 capability cards in this stack. What I'm just going to do is just do I'm just going to deal a couple out to each side.
Oh, music starting.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and if at any course of the game you want to try and play a capability card, that's a useful thing we can do.
And some of these have very specific phases, just kind of.
Yeah, they do. Which again.
Apologize for the music in the background there.
It will go away. Don't worry.
So, I'm almost in. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So Peter, one of the things you're going to need to do is just define the where things have got multiple floors. Just need to define which floor the
Okay.
counter is on.
Find that piece. What pieces are you
these are over here on the side.
Okay.
You can just copy them if you need to. So they're double-sided. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you're all going to be on one level, then just say that. Like if it's a 2-story or everyone's on the ground floor, like however you want to do it.
I think I'm starting with everybody. Oh no, hold on a second. I think I need to be promoted. Can you promote me and then give me a raise, of course? If you click on my name in the top right and then promote me, because otherwise I can't copy.
Yeah, it's all right. There you go.
Right. I'm slowly loading up the tabletop simulator. If it goes glitchy on me, I might come in on a different computer.
Yeah. if it's not working, I can always play. I can always just keep the blue perspective and move the stuff for you guys to see.
Yeah.
It's just demo sake, so if people know everything, it's all right.
Yeah. It's not a real thing. So, are you done, Peter? You all good?
I mean, as good as I'm gonna be. I love.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's
no,
cool.
no tactics are here. We're just going for
that's
it.
Fine. That's fine. So just
Oh, I did want to hold on. I did want to say that these guys are on the second floor. I can. Okay, never mind. Let's see.
So again, playing around with how this sort of works is kind of like this.
Yeah. What the hell? I'll put these guys.
I'm just going to switch the computer, Jen. 30 seconds.
It's all right.
How do you rotate it if it's upside down? What button did you press?
F.
F.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of they turn. No matter what, they turn around. It's like sticky Stratego.
Okay, so you do have some basements in some of the buildings, which you can tell by flipping over the floor icon marker. Not the one you've placed, the small one, the grey one. So, for example, this one has a basement.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them have it, and the idea would be, as the defender, you're allowed to look at them, but the attacker can't until they're actually in the building. So you could have some hiding in basements.
In the basement. All right. You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah. Let's see if this guy. No, they don't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just say these guys are in the basement just for shits. All right.
So these things here are hangars. They're not and this is like a storage barn thing. They're not great to fight from because they haven't really got any apertures. Open sided on the interior.
Oh, is it open sided on this side then?
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah. That's open sided. Again, it's a Copill down thing that I have never seen in anyone else's town, but I tried to keep it true to life.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out, having a sandwich or something in here. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. No
well, the only
right.
why don't we call out the rule for that though? A black aperture can only be used by marksman or sniper. Correct? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was the idea to create the idea of mouse holding it.
It's all right.
And that could be a card that needs to be played. For example.
All right.
Yeah. I think what you find is these buildings are just going to be dead spaces that create cover around them, etc.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just throwing them off.
Okay. All right. So you're all good
for now.
Peter.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anyone on blue side? Mark switching computers.
Well, I'm switching computers. One of the things of that I'm seeing have teenagers that you get their deprecated computers. So
don't open the history. Don't open the history.
Well, I'm actually going to play this.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Grab yourself 3 more dummies.
All right. Hold on.
What on earth? Right. That's loading straight up.
Then we kind of shuffle. We don't know where we're going. Oh.
Yeah. And that's the sort of thing you'd want to do that at the start, and so they go to your supply.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I get it. I'm just throwing people off. Dill sec. Mill deck. Sorry. Not Bill sec.
Mill deck. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Right.
Whilst Mark's loading up.
I'm spreading rumors.
Do you want to come up with a sort of rough blue plan, and I'll start putting blue stuff out?
Well, I would be tempted, Mark, to come through on the bottom left-hand side as we can see it, because we've got some shielding there to get onto the board rather than get blown away straight away. And I would then bottom left-hand side, because you then got some shielding to initially go through there. And then the question is whether you're going to try and probe up on that left-hand flank and try and garner those buildings at the front that you enter into, presumably. Because it looks like that will be a bit more cover on that side. So, Ed, will we be deploying dummy counters at the same time as well, I guess?
Yeah, but you've only got 6
I tell you
because
what, I'll avert my eyes. Oh Lord, go for it.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
so what I'll do.
there actually is a button in TTS to hide yourself. Can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
There's the flag of war button.
Yeah, I mean, this is where TTS is slightly different than a real analog game. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
And
what I've done is we want to try and get the drone up as soon as possible as well. okay. So what I'll do is I'll place you on here not as a move, just as the start, and then we'll let you do all the actions as per. But the drones are not flying at the start. Okay. So that's two squads, 2 sections on. Do you want to keep the third one off for now?
Yeah, keep it in reserve.
Okay. All right.
For some reason, I'm
also
seeing the
gonna,
red side of the ball. I need to
Yeah,
swing round.
you just move it round. Yeah.
I'm also going to play
Okay.
stimulants.
Okay. Cool. Play the stimulants.
Put it over here as a reminder. Now
Okay.
you got hopped up. Now you have hopped up reds in front of you.
Yeah. Now
Cool.
you don't need to. You got to think about how you're going to use your dummies, because once they're sighted, like as an example, guys, anything you put here is going to be sighted.
Yes.
So dummies there are not, or at least dummies in the buildings there are not a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a stacking limit of 6. So I'm just going to put your dummies out on the left if you're happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sort of doesn't, obviously, he's not really listening to this.
I think you assume that no matter how secure your communications are, the other side are always listening to you. Right, well, my plan would be to occupy those first 2-level buildings and see if we can sort of
you're now blue,
establish...
Mark, so you can now look at the cards, the capability cards.
Cool.
I met myself games master.
See.
Ed, I wanted you to make sure you spawn him on. I wanted to make sure I was supposed to deploy this as well. I don't know if you're.
Which one's that? Sorry. Let me just check. Yeah, you can put him out. That's fine.
I just didn't know if you.
I'm just difficult switch of monitors here, so I should.
Okay, so Ian, if you're looking, this is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now that one can't be played because you're not the defender. So what I'll do is, Peter, you just ditch one of your cards. I'll swap you this one.
Are you going to send those out to me, Ed, if I'm going to take it to DSAT?
Yeah. I'm going to, after this playtest, the idea is to kind of dump you with everything, including rule amendments and clarifications. But also, this is a useful thing because you can see it being played. So even if it's not written down, you know.
Yeah. Is this being recorded, by the way? Is it possible to get video capture of this?
Yeah,
I think Peter's doing that. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so defender tunnels you can't have. You've also got this one, which is quite fortuitous. Then you've got that one.
Yeah.
And that one. I'm going to change that from 3 to a lower score. But... Okay. Do you want to play any of those now? I don't really think any of them, other than the pen sweep and that one.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, you want to play that one? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, lose half the dummies that you currently have on the board.
Son of a.
Just delete them. Don't put them back in your supply because they are the ISR sweepers.
So that's good gravy. That's right here.
What was that bit of magic then? That was a capability card that
ISR coverage. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's why it's 3 points though, because it's really, really powerful.
Left looks better now.
Cool. All right, happy days.
There you go.
We're going to start with turn 1. Blue is again. So that how this works is you've got two-sided phase thing. So if red's attacking, it goes that way. If blue's attacking, it goes that way. We're starting with movement. Eligible elements can move. You are eligible if you are not suppressed. And I'm not looking. I'm just coming over for an icon somewhere.
One thing we'll want to emphasize to the viewing audience is that you can only pick one of these 3 phases, right?
Yeah.
So
so I've got this little marker now, which should help. So you're going to want to move. You can't really see anything at the moment, so that's fine.
Into the buildings, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you want to do, guys?
Where did you pick these up?
There was just one on your. There was just an example. There you go.
So I can literally. Don't laugh if I do crazy moves here because I'm just getting back to you to the tabletop simulator.
We're going to assume civilian. Yeah, we're going to assume civilian density is 1. So going to roll 1d6 for that. So that's a note. 1d6 for that. That's a 1. Grab me a civvy.
Right.
Cool.
That was a D10.
Okay, so
that's a D10 you're rolling there, by the way.
yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
this is to see if they are. So that's nothing.
I thought you were saying D6.
That's nothing. Sorry, I mean a D10. It's a chance of 1. So you've moved into them, so there's a chance they're going to do something. So we then look at the civilian section.
Yep.
And then roll for them.
So I don't know if you want to explain that ruling. So the density, you just get a roll to see how many came out, but then as you get near them.
So the density idea is that every time you enter a building, you roll against the density, and it's like 1, 2, or 3. So it's a low because there's a lot of buildings. Otherwise, you'd just have so many civilians.
Mm-hmm.
If you roll equal to or under, then you place a civilian, and because you've interacted with them, they're going to see what they do. If they move, so I just roll a d6 for them, and I got a 6, which says they would move down, assuming they're on the same floor.
So the main
they can't move anywhere, so they stay where they are.
The main interaction with them, though, is to obviously avoid, casualties thereof, of course, right? And then sometimes the scenario might, of course, ding you as a side for a loss of civilians. Yeah,
so I've added that to this tracker at the top now. So victory points. So effectively, that it's more of a game of losing points than gaining points. So you start with it here and here. If red kills a civilian, it goes down 2.
Yeah.
If blue kills a civilian, hurts a civilian, it goes down 3.
Yeah.
And then you can extract wounded, you get the bonus. I actually was going to make blues. Yeah. And again, like playing around with this to make blue slightly different. Like, does blue get more points for extracting its wounded than red, etc.? So, again, the values can change, but that's the mechanism, and the turn thing's going to move along here.
Okay. Right, Ed, I'm going to need somebody who's much more dexterous than myself with the positioning of the blocks here.
Yeah, it's fine.
And see that block there? For the light for me, I can't turn it back round. I flipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. How did you do that? Or
press
I'll just
F
leave
while
it as
holding
a...
it. Yeah.
Right, okay. So what I'm saying to Ian is that we've ploughed forward to make a fire base there. And I know in the past we've come a cropper for stacking things, taking incoming fire. But I'm working on the principle of there's more of us than them.
Oh, cool.
Well, definitely, yeah. And can we get a drone up as well, Ed?
Well, not if you've moved everything, no. This is the thing. This is your movement phase.
I'll leave somebody back then who hasn't moved and to get a drone up.
Okay, just remember, guys, this is the point of the game. You have to do everything by phases. So this is just movement. just movement, right? So you've left stuff behind, okay? But just as a point, if you don't do things with your dummies and your dummies can only move, they can't act, they can't fire, then they will be identified as dummies. So it's just a suggestion for what you want to do.
You should always mark them, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
At least mark them in any of the 3 phases, right? Well, not firefight, but
I mean, you can fake act with them, I suppose, as well.
Guess,
but like,
make
you just
them dance or something.
It's just that thing. If you don't use them, then it was very obvious that they're dummies. Okay. Happy days, right? That movement phase complete. For the sake of everyone on the call, the green apertures can take, I think, movement of 4, and no one has moved in more than 4, so that's fine. Were they coming in the side on the yellow, they then, for example, it would be 2, which includes dummies, because if you don't count the dummies, then it's obvious they're dummies. Right. So again, like that's a restriction factor. That is an abstractism that you need to bear in mind, etc. So that's all good. That's all movement done. Okay, easy. Like, this is why it doesn't have to take a lot of effort to do these phases. We now go to the action phase. Blue action.
And just to call out a few things that you would adjust smoke at that point, right?
So we get eligible units. An eligible unit is again something which hasn't moved. So all these things are now marked as having moved. So we now have the only things effectively that can act are these things in the back row, of which some are not real.
So a drone would be nice at this point to get.
So you're going to fly your drone. So that's fine. You're gonna put your drone up. Okay.
I think one thing to call out there that is only a leader can do that action, right?
Yeah, and that's to simplify. Having a drone operator is with the leader, because the leader is directing the drone, not necessarily that the leader is physically operating the drone. Right, but we don't want to have too many. If you have too many counters for drone operator, it's going to get confusing. Okay, now I think the action, you can put it straight up in the air, and you might be able to move it in the same turn.
You're deploying it, I think, as one action, right? I think that, at least if I recall correctly.
Deploying a drone and recovering a drone. Yeah. Okay. The following may be done in the same action phase. Okay.
So you can only move it in the next movement, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's up, and it's up at what height do you want it at? High?
High.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Cool. And that's your action phase. Cool. So you see how much faster this is going?
Yes.
Right. Firefight. You have nothing that can do that because you've moved and acted with everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and then no close quarter battle return.
Okay, now, but we are going to do the reveal elements with auto spot LOS. Okay, so the admin phase, this is where we're going to we would tidy up everything, and we'd create a new game state for you to do for the next turn. So we've got an auto spot here. Okay, so the first before Peter turns it around, okay, I was going to say, like, if it's a dummy, just take it straight off.
Yeah, it is a dummy. I'm taking it off.
Okay, that goes back to your supply, Peter. So don't delete that. It goes back to your supply, so you can put it out again.
Oh, with cards potentially?
No, at the end of your turn, you can deploy another dummy.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the idea is if you take a pause, then uncertainty starts to creep in again.
I did not know
I like that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good point.
Like, that's certainly used in side played as well. I like that because the notion of clearing the board is
that you might want to denote that a little more directly. I don't in the rules.
It says add dummy from supply in the admin phase.
Oh, so you just do one? It's just one.
Yeah, it's just one dummy from supply.
All right. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So good. Again, like, guys here, you can do it. You like, and again, the rule being you have to add it to somewhere there's already a thing, because otherwise it's really obvious you're adding a dummy to a dummy space. So you could take them up, put them in your hand, and put them back down in any order, and it's all that sort of idea. Okay, so the idea with that auto reveal is, firstly, you have to just clearly state, is it a dummy? Because if it's not a dummy, then there would be an auto reveal on blue side as well. But what we don't want to do is show everything and then recover them up, if possible.
This would be an auto reveal or no?
Okay, so this is an auto reveal here. So the first question is, red, is that a dummy?
It certainly is.
Okay, great. There you go. That goes away. Okay, and that's the challenge answer process. If you said it wasn't a dummy, then we would be revealing blue stuff and red stuff together.
Yeah.
Got you.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I think we did talk about that, right? Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's it now for blue. So we're going to go to red movement.
Okay. Let me get some of these markers out.
And like Ian and Mark, please just note down any questions you've got while we're doing this.
That's cool.
All right, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just hold on. Did you just pop out of this part here? Because there's
Yes, I
no
did.
doorway there, so you need to move through
Oh
this
shoot!
aperture.
You're right. 1,
Yep.
2, 3.
So if you're moving inside the structure, that's 1.
Yep.
So you can go
2,
2,
and then 3. I'm sorry. You're right. No, actually, I can only go 2.
Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect.
So again, the movement rules we're trying to go for simply is like you can always move 1 unless you're moving something that's utterly impossible. 3 is only if you are moving entirely through open spaces, which that wasn't because he was moving internally, and everything else is basically 2.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna move 1, and I'm gonna choose. I can choose to move 1 as well and keep it there. Correct?
Yeah, you can move under. That's
All
fine.
right, so these guys are moved. All right.
Yeah, great.
All right. So that's that. Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, just to kind of screw with you a little bit. 1. Let's see. I can go this. This is not an obstacle, right? It is cover, but I can do a 2 here, right?
Yeah, you do see that. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So then these guys are also moved. All right. Let's go. What the hell? Just kind of screw with you a little bit. There we go. All right. I'm gonna keep that guy. I'm gonna move him here. 1, 2. All right, that's another move.
So you won't be able to go into that building
Because
because
it's not cleared.
that's not cleared it.
Okay.
Now
That's
there is a point like you're the defender, but we're now in play, so
okay.
like we're trying to make the moves hesitant as
All right.
people would do in real life. Okay.
All right, this guy's just gonna 1, 2.
Yeah, these are all open, so that's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put him here just in case anybody tries to do this. But okay, so one thing, this is probably a bad move, and I'll just do it anyway. Because if somebody comes in the view, they might get a shot at me, but I wouldn't necessarily get a shot at them because I've already moved, right? Let's see. What the hell? I'm showing
Well,
you
to
how
move on would be a move, so you get first shot back, I think.
Yeah, correct.
only,
You don't need to put it directly on top. You can just put it next to you.
I'm trying to, whatever.
You
there
only need to use the markers if it's getting confusing. Like if you're moving everything, then arguably you don't need to put a marker on it because it's all
Yeah, I'm not
the same.
Might not do all of it, but
and you don't need to move everything.
these guys are on the second floor. I'm gonna move these guys to the first floor just for the hell of it. So then I would just take that out of there, just to kind of confuse you even more.
And while Peter's moving there, line of sight between a wood and a building at 45 degrees. Is that
so we need
included?
to specify the height of the trees. They should be as tall as the house. So, for example, this two-story spot here was blocked by the trees. But if the trees weren't there, then we could do a spotting action as a prelude to firing in a subsequent turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think for now I'm gonna go ahead and be done with movement.
Okay.
Right.
So action.
Let's see. Do I have any toys? Do I have anything? Do I have any assets that are impending by any chance? Is this drone available?
Hey Kevin, if you want to join the tabletop simulator, the password's in the chat, and it's called Take That Street public server.
All right.
Yeah, please do, because if my family shows up, I might need to have you take over. So join away.
Sorry, Peter. What was the question?
Do I have any of these assets that are sitting here?
Not just yet. We'll bring them on as we want to sort of test out some of the
Okay, that's fine.
infantry stuff first. But yeah, we do want to bring vehicles on because it's going to be a key.
Just
key
want to make sure
aspect.
I wasn't just completely omitting them. I tell you what. What the hell? I'll pop some smoke here as an action. You can do that within 2, right? Of any infantry element, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. What the hell?
Make sure you take your consumable down 1. Your smoke consumable.
Yes. And which one are we? Is that the smoke?
It's the white one. It's under the stack there.
All right, here. Oops, sorry. I'll fix it. Okay. Again, really just wanted to show some smoke for the hell of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
No tactical advantage whatsoever. All right. Okay. I'm going to. Well, let's see. See, you gotta kind of. All right, so I'll save this for a firefight.
Now remember, you can put people in Overwatch if you want.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna put the. Okay, I'm putting this guy in Overwatch. This guy's on
Overwatch dummies as well, so you can sort of fake. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's the sort of, the experienced players should make it look like there's more stuff watching, because otherwise it's really obvious where your real forces are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into the idea of like, well, we need 2 boards, and then you need an umpire, and
Yeah.
So basically, am I missing anything here? I think everybody has a move marker or an Overwatch action.
Overwatch.
Okay,
cool.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Firefight, nobody's really able to. I don't see anybody in range, right? So we're in administration. Let's see.
Any more spots? I don't think there are any more spots.
I don't think
I think
there are.
All the angles are covered there. So correct me if I'm wrong. Between those, can you see my?
Yeah, I see your blue one.
There. So these buildings here in this wood, to me, that's an occluded line. These 45-degree things are blocked.
Yeah,
likewise, from here across over to here, you've got like an occluded. You can't say there's a 45 there because you've got a 2, you've got a wood, you've got buildings there. So to me, everything's.
Yeah, you might as well just spell that out, Ed, is that you do it from the center of the aperture, and then if any part of it goes over.
Yeah, so this is, I think you do have, because it's not touching this building. It's the center. So it's not touching this building.
Okay, so
it's not an auto spot. I'm just saying, there is a line of sight there. It's
right,
just,
but let's show them how you would measure that, though. You always measure 2, by the way that you move, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so it's 10. So it's on the. So it's the maximum auto spot. So if that is. Yeah. So what we would check is, we'd say put something in blue here. It's seen something red there. Is that red a dummy?
It just so happens to be a dummy.
Okay, cool. It's gone.
All right.
Okay.
It's a will-o'-the-wisp. Okay.
But Peter, you do get to add a dummy from your supply, so you can add a dummy to another space with a block already. Okay. And obviously, again, guys, you would know where something has been added, but you don't know what's real or what's not real.
Okay. So that seems like, is that part of the gameplay where you could potentially sort of burn dummies to generate dummies elsewhere?
Well, yeah, dummies are going to get burnt by what your opponent does to you, or what you do. If you move forward really fast, you will burn all your dummies out, but you can slowly replace them.
Okay.
All right, so that's that. Consumables. Right, so now we're in the final phase of the turn, which is the admin turn. We're going to...
Well, sorry, it's that line of sight thing. I'd like to get it sort of... So from here, looking across here then, that's... Okay. I'm assuming that's a block, but you're saying that there could be a little gap as well? I don't know.
You go to the
center. So again, going off the line, that's
right,
visible.
Right.
You can
right
see.
There.
Okay, so what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, that's max auto spot. So if that's a dummy, cool. Here we go. And one of the aims of this game is to find the points on the ground to get good LOS to do this.
Yeah.
And as like this is the kind of thing about like, well, it's all squares, and how do you work it out? Well, if the artwork is what we're going off, and you can see through that gap, then I think that's useful. If there was another tree icon there, then that wouldn't have worked. Cool. Right, in the admin phase, we're going to move the turn tracker, adjust non-player entities, resolve changes to civilians. Okay, so the civilians are calm. If the civilians were panicked, we'd roll again to see what they do, but they're currently calm. So that's fine. I'm going to move the turn marker 1. You all need to take some water down. So the way to do that is divide the number of real troops that you have on the board. The real troops that you have on the board by 4 and reduce your water that, except for Peter, because you're taking stims. So reduce it, divide it by 2 and take it down.
Okay.
Is everybody else thirsty?
And the reason I say that is because the number of dummies is known to both sides, because you had a dummy stock. So that isn't a secret, because if you're losing water for dummies, that's a real stupid mechanic. So I wanted to get rid of that. So everyone knows how many sort of real troops are on the board. They just don't know where they are.
So I make that magic number 3 for blue to take water. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do that. So 1, 2, 3.
Next question: how do you replenish water? Because we're going to run dry shortly.
Yeah, so we do that. We do that as well in this phase. And that's so I need to check whether you do consumables in your turn or consumables at the end of the phase. So the easy way to do this was that you get. I think I had defender gets 2 low value and 1 high value per turn, and attacker gets 2 low value, 1 high value, or 1 high value, and defender gets 4 low value and 2 high value per turn, or 2 high value per turn. Okay, so a low value is water, smoke, small arms ammo.
Okay.
And a high value is everything else, yeah?
So we go.
But the idea was you can't go. Yeah, the idea is you can't go above your starting number. So if you've only gone down water, then you just put water back up. So there. Yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. So Peter, you can't go above your starting value. So again, you can take your water, and I think the idea of this was that you have to pick the exact commodity rather than having a mixture.
Right.
So you can either go up on water or up on smoke, up to where you were at the start.
For either of them. Okay, I think I'll take water.
Yeah. Okay. So you get something every turn. It's deterministic. We're not going to do dice rolling, but you have to pick what it is.
Interesting. Yeah,
and that's just abstractly linking the idea of there's a line of supply coming and stuff's coming forward.
You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision of where it's going.
Yeah. Now remember that what you want to avoid is culmination, is having any of your critical consumables, which are small arms, ammo, water, and med, in the 0, 1, 2, or 3 box. If you do that, then that's game over because you've culminated. That's the logic on this. Okay. End of the game turned. Moved on to turn 2. We go back to blue movement.
Right. That's as max as it can do because it's a big walk into that building because it's not been cleared.
Yeah, and that sort of abstractly reflects people covering windows, stacking up, preparing, talking through how they're going to move through. I know it's clear. You know it's clear. These blocks don't know it's clear.
Correct.
So that's why we're avoiding this idea of just sprinting into the best cover and then engaging each other.
1, 2, 3. Oops, there. Thanks.
Doing a great job of knocking them over.
The drone operator, to activate the drone, has to be outside of the building. Is that correct?
Yeah, stop. Like that's action. So just focus on movement. This is where it gets. Okay. If it was an any activation game, then you're fine. But this is all phased.
Right. I'm curious about this little angle there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the blind spot is round here from an auto spot, but you could be spotted.
Yeah, but you're going to dash. You're going to dash across, and he's not got a Overwatch marker on it.
Overwatch.
So I'd go for it, and I'd go there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, could go both, couldn't we? There.
Yeah.
There. There. What about the civilians? Do I need to keep somebody back to keep?
You don't need to. I mean, you can act as an action. You can interact to tell them to move somewhere, but they're currently in the building, and the way the rules work, if you don't do anything to them now, they should just stay there unless someone shoots within 5 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Or 3, whatever I wrote in the rules. Again, like, somebody please fact check me on this. Like, but
okay. So, that would be dangerous for him.
Do you want to go into the wood, Mark?
Not really. If I get shot at, because there seems to be a heavy potential fire group there.
don't forget to move these.
Put some smoke down there.
Yeah, don't forget to, and then also you've got this third section you can bring on at any time.
Right. Bring them on. Right. So I'm going to move there. Let's bring these boys round to there.
Yeah. The best way to use your dummies, you don't need to stack them on top of each other all the time. Just the best way to use your dummies is to create the impression of breadth or depth that is not real.
Yes.
The problem with mixing them with real forces can be that your real forces will you often act and then reveal themselves, and then if they've got dummies with them, they disappear.
Yes.
But the best way to use a dummy is think of it as a rifleman. What would you do with it that a rifleman would do? And then it will create the impression of a rifleman.
Right. Interesting. If I wanted this chap to do an action, he's got to stay there. For example, I'm thinking popping smoke there is good to stop this.
Yeah, you can do that in the action phase. Okay, so is that all your movement done? Are you going to move this? Are you going to move on the? So you've got other attachments here. You haven't moved. You haven't moved your platoon attachment and this other section on there. That's fine. Yeah, stick them in.
Okay, well, boys. Actual fact. What's the advantage having?
In the intro, I think what you might want to do just to spread this out is think about coming on here.
Okay. Right. Okay, I'll do that. I can come to this building here then. Yeah.
Well, you can't enter from that side, so no, I'd say you need to come into that square. That's fine.
Okay. We will ring. And that a line of sight job then?
I think there's no line of sight there because of the building.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Because it keeps going off the. In the center, I think you have to clip in that building, so I think you're fine.
What was that?
If red had still been there, then this would have been an absolute death trap. But by having this phased Overwatch from this building, you've visually cleared this structure, so you can now bring on the third section on the right hand side. Does that make sense?
Okay, cool. And is that a day in the life of an infantryman's job, Ed? That sort of you find yourself being told it's clear to go into dangerous places on the basis of it's been cleared for you, and then you quickly move on to
without having a distinctive enemy, you kind of assume there's enemy in everything and work your way covering it, and that's why it's slow and deliberate. And there's this idea of the idea that you just sprint down here and get into a building is just fantasy. Like, even if you said do it, people would move cautiously and bound and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's movement done. You're on your action phase. Go.
Let's do the drone.
Drone forward.
Yeah. So it's at high altitude now. So how far is it movement? I thought was it 8?
You can move it 10 spaces.
10. Right. Okay. So I would like
middle of the board.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 looks really good to me.
Just to clarify on the action phase for smoke, it's any smoke in the game. So even though this was Peter's smoke, we flip it to its dispersing side.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I thought it was only during.
Again, we'll see how it plays out, but
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
idea on it.
Let's
Because otherwise, it
put the
lasts
drawn
too
there,
long.
then it's 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5,
it only
6,
lasts
7
2
forward.
phases. Okay.
Next to something in cover, something in the open, and then
Okay. Yep. We'll spot with it at the end in the admin phase.
okay.
Yeah. And again, if you
And
think the admin phase needs to be called something else, that's also a good question.
I would like to pop a bit of smoke there then into this guy here.
days.
Got him some
Okay.
smoke.
Dev your smoke by 1.
Oh, which one's what colour's the smoke?
It's the white one.
The white one. Okay. I think we're done.
Okay. Firefight.
Hopefully,
Pretty much
there's
got
nothing
nada at the moment.
Like anything
It's
else.
interesting because Peter could have deployed it anyway up to this line, but decided to hold it back. So this is why we're not having any firefights at the moment.
I mean, there's one marker that we ad-libbed on the physical board game, and it was squares that were actually in line of sight. We put like a blank thing just for our own aid memoir that we didn't want to put people into trouble.
Yeah, but that's kind of the idea. You have to mentally do that on the fly,
Yeah.
all the time, because that's what a real commander has to do. Has to work out these angles, etc. Okay, so there's no firefight for you. Happy days.
So have we done
Admin-wise.
anything? Have we missed anything that you would do as an infantry officer then?
I mean, nothing really comes to mind because you're not in contact. So
Yeah.
you're just moving. You've got dispersion. You've got a good frontage. What's going to be interesting is when you start getting casualties and see how it all works out.
Yeah.
Okay, so auto revealing. Nothing here can see, but the drone can. Let me just check the drone rules. So it's basically a circle around it, but anything that's in the open. So they're in the woods, so they're fine. And again, we can argue how good a tree is at hiding from a drone. But these things here, Peter, if they're dummies, can you remove them? If they're not, can you flip them down? Oh, nice. Okay. I think
Paranoia.
there's no spare dummies for blue, so that's all good. So yeah, that's the end of your red movement.
All right.
So interestingly, if we bring the drone down to low thing, is that a better chance to spot for the?
Yeah, if you bring it down to low, then you spot as per it being a rifle person,
Cool.
but they can then engage you and try and shoot you down. And obviously, you're then subject to the line of sight restrictions. So the drone is really good top down, covering an area. But if you want to go micro, you need to put it low.
Yeah.
So Mark, if you put it low there, that's a really bad place to put it because you're right next to them. If you want to go low, I'd move it away, then go low, and then look back.
Got you.
And that just remains there.
Yeah.
It's not going to spot another round unless they use an action for it, right? Is that right? You know what I'm saying? In other words,
it's going to spot around that area automatically,
no matter what. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I mean, that's easier than rolling for all this. Like, we're trying to reduce the gameplay.
Does that at least eat up the action of the leader that's controlling it?
So effectively, the leader can move.
Okay.
Right. And the drone will stay where it is. So if you want to, so for example, if you moved into that now, then they'll still spot, but the drone won't move. In effect. And we can talk about the realism of that. It's
right.
It's just
and
passive
then,
efficient.
and
but you know it's there, so you can avoid it.
Let me ask you this: it's high. So if I were to move anything from here into this, oops, I didn't mean to do that. if I was to move from this building into this building would block line of sight of the drone at high or no?
Okay, so it can't see you in a building because you're inside the
No, but
building.
what if I'm but because of the rule that I have to stop with.
Oh yeah, you'd be spotted. Yeah,
Okay.
you'd be spotted. You'd be spotted in
Okay.
these spaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And now that you know it's there, you're considering these factors, which is exactly why it's a good mental
exactly.
deterrent.
All right, so
Which is exactly what they found when they did the Project Phalanx
all right,
study.
so just to be a pain in the ass, then. All right, so 1, 2, 3, all open movement. I get to go 3, just to kind of. That's the only instance where you can actually go 3 spaces.
Yep.
Let me see. What do I want to do to be a pain in the ass? I can. This unfortunately is also. I was in this building previously, though, right?
Yeah, but you're not there now.
Right. Okay. So at this point.
So you don't know that Blue's not in there as far
Right,
as the blocks are concerned.
It becomes so. I just wanted to make a point of it becomes uncleared when it goes empty.
Yeah, and I think this is the idea that I know everyone's like, well, I've got rear areas. It's like, well, how do you know they're not in the rear areas? It's like I think we keep it like this until there's an evidence. Like we could have another marker to show that you've cleared that building, but this is always the thing that gets people where they go, yeah, that building's clear, and they're like, well, there's an enemy sat in it. Like,
yeah. You think it's clear.
If you haven't got anything to move, that's fine. Once you get into contact, Peter, I'm going to start letting you bringing on your other sections, your other squads. So that's going to help you out. I know you've been a bit hamstrung here. The idea of having only a section covering this is that the idea that you are trying to cover a lot of ground, and or troops are dispersed and hiding, and once Blue comes on and is contacted, then you call forward the reserves rather than having everyone in a massive firing line waiting for you to walk down the street, which I think is the sort of default setting. We assume
that's almost a delayed defense. All right, so I think that's it. For me, honestly,
action phase. We adjust smoke. This is removed, so that's gone. If you want to do any acting, do so now.
I'm good because. Well, hold on. Let me do another Overwatch here.
Cool.
Okay. And that's it. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead.
I have one question, Ed, about when's the spotting phase come again? Because somebody's walked into the open and there's a high drone in the air.
Yeah. So the auto at the end of each player turn, we do the revealing and hiding of stuff automatically. When if you in your firefight phase, you can then spot to shoot. So that's how we break it open.
All right, I think that's it for that phase.
The drone mark can see 2 forwards, or 2 forward in any direction, and then 1 adjacent to that. So it's like a square of immediately around it, and then there's a line of 3.
Is that when it's in low? When it's in high?
No, it's not when it's in high. When it's in
right
high.
now it can kind of look at that wood and not see anything, but that's the only thing that I've read it can actually see.
Now, I know in real life, you could just say like, well, the drone's seeing this guy over here. But the point being is that you are putting it high to look down into the urban canyon. So it's looking straight down.
Okay.
If you want to see here, you just need to move it as an action.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because that also then links the idea of attention. Otherwise, this thing's just going to be a 360 radar. And that's not really realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Peter, I suggest you play one of your cards to do with civilians.
Hold on a second.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. All right, there you go.
Okay, just want to read it out?
All right, so this is civilian sympathizers. Using the emotions and allegiance of local civilians to gather information on the opponent. Play at the start of your turn. Reveal enemy elements within 3 spaces of all civilians. That's a pretty significant one.
Yeah.
Now, you should have done that at the start of your turn, but I'll let you do it because I just want to show the card work. So there's a civilian here. So I kind of revealed that one.
Yeah, that's a dummy.
So it's going to reveal 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So everything.
Pretty much everything here.
Everything in this side of the map effectively is going to be revealed.
Yeah.
So there's somebody with a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way we do that.
What do they call them in
And a
Afghanistan?
blabby mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try and do this, but the
Here, I'll help you. All right, there you go.
it keeps wanting to
It's
flip them
not
back up.
sticky. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not sticky. It's all right. I see it.
Okay, so Mark, just grab all your dummies and put them back in your supply.
Right. So there's a dummy. Where's the supply thing gone? Just down
So the
here.
supply is the bottom bit of your platoon force card.
2, 3.
I find that the lay down doesn't even. I don't even bother using the lay down. I just turn them.
Yeah. Well, the idea is that Peter, you're going to get a look at them, but they're going to be then hidden as per the auto
All
hide
right,
rules.
that's fine. All
So
right, so
you're
yeah,
going to have to keep them in your mind.
All right, yeah, easier said than done. All right.
Yeah, but again, that's the thing. You've had a telephone
Yeah, no,
call
no,
from
no,
a civilian,
I get it. I'm
just giving you a load of information.
My
And you need to now
memory's
keep that in your mind. So
Right. Hey, can you do it for these boys as well? That guy in the infantry section. And
yeah, he's had a look. So he's had a look, Mark, and then they're going to when we get to the end of the admin phase, they would turn back round because they're hidden again.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's good.
okay, so that's your action phase done. Firefight phase, nothing.
Yeah, nothing within range, even though I've spotted. That's fine. Well, right, because
Okay.
if you want to walk those civilians off the map.
Well, no, you can direct them to move as an action.
Yeah.
But you need to be, I think, adjacent at least to do that.
Right. I
All
think
right,
that
so
might
let
be
me
a cool thing to do.
add a dummy from the supply real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so I will do that here.
Okay, cool. And if that's all good, then end of turn, everyone again do your water consumption.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so you do the resupply is at the end of every turn, or is it only very specific turns?
Every turn. The easiest way to remember it, Mark, is you've got 18 is your starting number. So 18 is what you got live.
Yeah. And divide by 4, was it?
Yeah, divide by 4.
Rounding down.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, again, I need to write that in the rules.
Down.
Yeah.
So there is 4, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So how do I leave the smoke where it is? And that goes down to 12. So we've done it right. How's that? I can't see the. Yeah, that was right.
Cool. And then you're going to get your resupply. So, Mark, you're going to get 2 basic, so you can put your water back up 2.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm.
And then I get
How do I get
similar?
the cards have suddenly gone over the. Ah, there you go. So okay.
Yeah, you've got 4 Peter as defender, so you can go back up to
As well as
just one resource,
Okay.
one consumable. But you don't need to top up your smoke until you've used a load of it.
Yep. So all the more reason to go ahead and use it if you got it.
Yeah. Now the observant amongst you will realise that Mark's going to run out of water at some point. Doesn't stop him doing anything in the game, because I think that's again an unrealism. But it's going to create the risk of then running out of small arms and medical, and then culminating. And he's going to want to start using his resupply for ammo instead of just water. So that's where the cards like the mule and all the rest of it become useful to bring in more supplies, etc.
Yep.
And do you have like a discard place for all these cards, or is it in the bag, or where are you putting these?
I will put them.
I just didn't know if you had, I've been putting them over there. That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just remind us on the water rule, though, Ed. You're consuming water just by being on the board, or are you consuming water because you're moving? So if I was just standing,
you're just consuming it. You're just consuming it because the movement is assumed. The only other way to do it is every time you move something, you got to take water, and that's going to become a nightmare.
No, it's fine. It's just what it is.
CQB is going to boost the water consumption, and that's the level of intensity we were kind of going for. I've never seen water in any war game as a resource, but it was something that the Urban Warfare Centre were keen to model.
Yep.
Now again, these rates can be adjusted. So if you think 4's too high, we could make it 6, whatever, etc. So that's all flexible. But the mechanism is that every turn you lose water, but that's a planned, known constant. Things like small arms, smoke medical, and everything else, you don't know you're going to use it until you need to use it.
My only observation with this is that I think it's being replenished too quickly. I would think that you'd have to maybe even burn actions to replenish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the abstract of there being a line of supply.
Okay.
So yeah, what we could do is say every 5 turns you get loads of points, and then you do it. That's another way of doing it. But it was the sort of idea that it's a trickle. This is representing the trickle. And again, more than happy to adjust it.
Well, no, but I mean, what you would also want to be able to do is if it was like an airborne assault, then obviously they don't have the line of supply. So at least maybe have some sort of scenario ruling for lack of line of supply, I guess.
Yeah, you could do. Although the idea being, it's not necessarily that this platoon this is a line of supply back to home base, but this platoon has a line of supply to company that has a line of supply to battalion. So even in an airborne assault, I think you've got resources somewhere. The problem with knowing when you're going to run out and sort of ordering in loads is this culminating point. The idea is you kind of fall into it by accident.
I definitely like the idea that you're only replenishing 1. I think I just need to hold off my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and the idea is you can't carry more because the idea is that's your loadout that you physically can carry.
Right.
So if you then it's just sit there, like, because the defender would just accrue loads and loads and loads of stuff. So the idea is you have your starting amount and that's what you're working off.
Right. Yeah.
Again, like, feel free to make suggestions on this. I just trying to have a really simple mechanism which doesn't break the game and turn it into a logistics game.
Yeah, I think the thing is fine is if you've got like you can only if you can't fight on if you lose all 3 key measures. So running out of water is what it is. That doesn't stop the game, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't stop the game, but it's that thing where you're going to then devote energy to getting, or as you say, a resource stage to getting water versus small arms ammo or medical supplies and like and then like, why have you got no AT ammo? It's like, well, because that's not a critical supply that's going to lose me the game. So that's the idea, is it's going to create that dilemma.
Yeah, no, I buy it. It's good.
Okay, so
Ed, I've got a line of sight question as well, because the guy on the open to the right, do we have line of sight from here to the dude there? It's these 45 degrees. It's on the ones and the twos halfway up there.
Oh yeah,
that crosses the.
Okay.
Well,
so
that crosses the.
Yeah. No, step it back. So sorry, step it back. This is why the phases is important. So in Red's admin phase, don't change any of your consumables that you've done. There is a line of sight between this block and these blocks. 1, 2, and sorry, it's because it's Red's one, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, if red is a dummy, then this doesn't work. Okay, there we go. And then that means this goes away as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
Good spot mark. Okay, turn 3, movement. Blue.
Yeah, in the buildings.
And then what I would say is I think one of the points is to clear your admin markers away, your move act markers away at the end of your turn, so you don't confuse them.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're moving into here.
I'd say we bundle forward because we have. I know there's people on Overwatch down there that might give us a bit of grief.
Yeah, but the idea is that Overwatch is an interrupt in the move. If you're just moving one space, there's absolutely no point playing the Overwatch card because you are in the cover that you're going to be in.
But I can also interrupt the movement before it even starts too, correct?
He's got to have made a move.
Okay.
At least one space. One space.
Well, it makes sense, but I don't remember it written.
Well, because the point is, Peter, if he stays still or
Yeah.
he
Yeah, I
completes
get
his
it.
entire move,
I
then
get
you could
it,
just
yeah.
do a normal fire movement.
I just don't know if the rules explicitly state that, by the way. Just
No, that's a good point because I think the idea is Overwatch is going to be a slightly reduced fire effectiveness than a planned shoot.
right.
So that's the idea
Okay.
of
Yeah, I get it. I get it from a ruling perspective.
So I can bring a dummy from the back on. Is that correct?
not yet stick to the phases.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Like it depends if you I think you deployed your dummies so they can't come on again. This is now recycling.
Right.
Whereas if you had them in reserve to come on as a reinforcement, that's different.
That's a great rule, by the way. I didn't even know that you. I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't even know you replenished it. That works well, I think.
Yeah, because I think otherwise dummies just start the game and then they just disappear, and then it's like, well, where's the fog of war system? It's gone.
And I like how I'm wondering if you should be explicit in ruling that it has to be with another unit.
Yeah, I think I did just because it just doesn't make any sense to put it. It's because I'm going to watch you take a dummy from your supply in the stage that says deploy a dummy, and you're going to put it over there, and I'm like, that's a dummy.
Right. Depends on how you're playing it. I mean, if you're fog of warring the person, then so be it.
Right. I think this is a game tactic.
Yeah.
Moving that on 3 there round the house. Now I've got line of sight down here. I don't believe that's line of sight to there.
Yeah,
I might be wrong there.
Yeah,
Is there?
No, I think the building clips it.
So what it does mean that if it's a dummy, it's in play now. If it's not a dummy, if anything moves out there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least they'll see it.
Yeah, and that's a really good place to put this, whatever it is, in Overwatch.
Yeah.
On the subsequent turn.
Okay. I'll save this dude here for an action to try and get the odds off the table.
Okay. Have these all moved as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
The only person who hasn't moved is the chap there in this block here. Who may have something more.
Awesome. So, action. This smoke now disappears. Okay, so over to you. What are you going to do action-wise?
Action-wise, then, we'll try this chap here to tell those boys to move off table.
Okay.
What about moving the drone forward, Mark?
Yeah. Well, the drone, I'm interested here. Well, we're going to find out about those boys anyhow. They're all in cover there, so yeah, to move it forward. So what you're saying is that when the drone comes down, it doesn't want to be close and adjacent because it could be lost. What's the best range then? Is it 2 hexes away? 2 squares away?
10 squares is the movement.
Right. No, but to actually spot when it comes down to a low altitude, what's a safe distance for the drone to be away from there? Because, for example, you can see where my hand is there on those 2.
Yeah.
That's the point of interest. Where would be the best place to put the drone then to come down to a low altitude to have a look at it?
You probably want to be looking through the green aperture.
Yeah, that side.
So I would try and do it from this side.
How many squares you want to be away?
5 would be auto spot.
Okay,
Yeah,
so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Drop myself there. It's still high this turn. I can't come down to low, can I?
No.
No. So next turn, I'd bring it down to low and start looking at the enemy positions. I've moved those. Have I moved these boys yet? Yeah, I moved them, didn't I? Because they came on last turn and they moved to there. Yeah. So that stops me there. So yeah, that's my 2 actions. Like I said,
I just need to work out the Cascon bit. You're going to roll. The current version of the rules has lost the table, so I just need to find the table in my horrendous PowerPoint, just holding everything together behind the scenes.
it's interesting now being kind of the victim of that card. You see the importance that would have been a worthwhile action turn 1 or turn 2 to say, right, civilians just
you
get
don't know
on
he's
with it.
got that card, so
No. But it's a good kind of lesson of it's a war. It literally is a war story.
okay. So the Kazcon side, we need to define the civilian sympathies to blue or red. So what we'll assume is, for the sake of argument, they are sympathetic to opponent because he's already played that card.
Yeah.
So Mark, roll a d10.
Oh, where do we do that? Or can somebody do that for me?
Or
I'm happy.
Although, actually, Mark, what I would say is you've got a card that would help you do this, I think.
Oh, right. Where is it?
I think you have.
Oh,
Oh, no, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Right, what I'll do is, Peter, could you give the interpreter card to Mark, just so you can play it for this?
Yeah.
To see it work. Okay.
bonjour.
So, Mark, you
It's
can
been
play
one
it.
of-
Yeah, play it during your action phase. So you just pop it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll your d8.
Okey-dokey.
Roll your d10, sorry.
Where's the D10? So I mean,
There.
I'm being
There's one here.
right now. How do you roll them again? Do you just press space or
R.
R? So,
Okay, you go 3 plus 2 is a 5, which is not enough. You needed a 9 or 10 for a success. So you've had a chat to them, and they say they're going to stay where they are.
okay. Worth a punt.
Okay. Firefight. Now, eligible
Is there any
units
auto
only.
spots?
Eligible units only. So everything's moved or acted, which means
Yeah.
anything that isn't unmarked could now be considered eligible for firefight. And this is the point of the game. You have to choose whether you're moving, acting,
Yep.
or shooting, not doing all three all the time. So what you did there is took a punt and moved everyone into buildings. And if
Yeah.
Red had set up in these structures, which they kind of have done in some, but if they were more frontal, then you could now be receiving fire on Red's turn and then just eating it. Okay. So we skip when we go to the admin phase. We're going to do a auto reveal. So the first auto reveal I want to do is this one. So Red, if there's any dummies there, please take them away. Oh,
Okay. Now,
any other things in the open at 10? No, I think we're all good. Okay. Mark, you can add a dummy back from your supply to somewhere. And now I'm going to move onto Peter's movement.
anywhere
phase.
on the table.
Anywhere
It's-
with a unit already. It can be placed with another dummy unit. That's fine. It just needs to be somewhere where there is something already.
Okay. Now these, if I was to move, the Overwatch would be just negated immediately, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I think, Peter, you need to fire, but obviously, like, you need to go through the move and action phases first. But I think there's no value having Overwatch now because they're going to sit in those buildings. They're going to try and spot you, and they're going to try and fix you with fire before they move.
Right. Give me a second here. 1, 2, 2. I have to stop here because I cannot get in there.
Correct.
Um,
Okay, Mark, whilst this is happening, can you take away all your moved and active counters and just put them on one side?
Okay. Little pile over here.
Okay, now I am. You'll understand why I'm doing this shortly. For now, I'm just
That's fine. If you don't want to move, you don't have to move.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering. I mean, the drone doesn't. Any smoke would not affect the drone at all, correct?
No, if you threw smoke here in low, that would affect the drone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. All right.
Okay, so are you done with movement? Just be very clear when you like you do everything in one phase before you do anything else.
Yes, I am.
So, okay, so now you're gonna go to action.
Okay, so then I'm gonna pop smoke here.
Okay, so spend one of your smoke counters. Spend, yeah, flip it the other side. Yeah.
And for giggles, yes, I gotta expend the resource here as well. I'm
Yep.
going to. Oops. What else here? I am going to. Just in case, I don't know what the hell. I'll just poke smoke here. Okay. And for giggles, I'll pop a smoke here too. Because that should be additive, right? As far as a modifier in case I want to move in the next turn. That's the only thing I don't like about that dispersal. It makes sense, but it was my impression that the smoke dispersed on your own phase, but that's just a call out.
Well, it will disappear on your phase, yes.
Yeah.
But it's gonna affect. It's gonna
still be present.
Be there.
Okay.
It's still be present. It just the building dispersing doesn't change the value.
Okay.
I think on this.
All right.
So did this throw smoke or did this not throw smoke? Same at the moment you've got the Overwatch.
It had done smoke, so it can't do this.
Okay. All right. Are you actually doing Overwatch or do you want to fire with these?
There's nothing in line of sight.
I think my troops there are.
Yeah, there is.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, cool. You're gonna leave it on Overwatch. Happy days. Okay. So anything for firefight? No.
Nope.
Okay. So anything that we can see automatically? No, we can't automatically see anything. Okay.
There's obstruction here. And you're saying
you can add a dummy. No, you can see that. You can see that, but it's not touching the building. But it's not automatic. That's my point. It's not within auto spot. In this phase, we're only doing auto spots.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay, so add a dummy from your supply.
Yeah. All right, I will do that. Oops.
Oh, what a reveal!
Hey, if you're gonna do it right. All right.
Okay, awesome.
That's it.
End of turn. So everyone take water down again and add back your whatever you want to add back.
And you said you can add back up to 4, right?
Defender can add 4 simple.
All right, I'm actually gonna increase my smoke. I want a lot of smoke. I think I'm gonna need it. All right.
Okay, Mark, you happy? Done yours?
Right, so that's 4 down and 2 back up, so net 12.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
We'll send the Naffy van. We need some beer.
Now we turn 4.
Quick check, but my other squads will show up after first effective fire. Is that what I heard, right?
Yeah. So at the moment, because you haven't seen any blue, you've just seen a drone fly over.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to let you start bringing them on, but only once you actually see.
Okay. Yeah.
Blue,
Okay. So just spotting, not actual.
So you have got the platoon commander here, but just imagine he's sort of saying like, I need to bring troops from defending other areas because one drone has flown overhead. That's not realistic.
Yeah, but
so
what is the trigger? Just an effective fire? Because I had revealed all these guys way over here.
You revealed them. Sorry, yeah, good point. You had revealed them with civilians. Yeah, true. So you were aware that there were enemy in the area.
Right.
So I could say that was your signal to start preparing the troops in reserve. but haven't actually had contact yet. Because the idea is these troops are covering other areas.
Well, right, that's what
and they need to be
that's what I was
conquering
just
other
double checking. I'm gonna. Why don't we call it first fire, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. Happy days. So blue movement.
Right, we'll go right to left here then. So help me with this. I think I can go 1, 2 into the woods there.
Yep. Correct.
1, 2, 1, 2. I can go 1 into there because it's not a friendly hell. Oh, he's shot him, Sarge. If you could.
For some reason, these things don't like to sit on anything other than a flat surface.
Yeah. I'm going to move this dude. Should we try? I'll continue that. I won't move him. I'll continue trying to get rid of those things, see if it's a distraction or not. Or because what I'm thinking, is there another card which could actually turn that from a civilian to a militant?
I don't think it's a card. I don't have it as a card. I have it as so. I'll use a different example.
I think we're safe to do that, Ian, because I don't think there's line of sight there. That gives us some cover.
So I have a fighter back end card because it's agnostic to side. Because blue in theory could do this as well. But the idea with that is deployed on the map already. It looks like a calm civilian. But if it were to cause a reaction, it would flip itself over, and therefore then you switch it out with a red or blue.
Well, I still think it's better to try and get that civilian off the table. He's annoying me, rather than we just thunder forward. Second guessing myself there. Right, I'm going to 1, 2, 3 move blue there. That's going to go on Overwatch. No, that's an action. Those two have moved there. Now here's a question for me. From that unit there, does it have line of sight to that square? I don't think it does. No, in that case,
push forward.
Yeah. Psychological pressure.
We've got the question that at some point we have to enter the building and then we're going to potentially expose ourselves. So how we handle that? Because there's no way around that. You know, that's the great dilemma in all of these games. If it's move or fire, you have to at some point roll the dice. You can't. There's no way around it.
It's I guess.
Yeah, Mark. It would be useful for you to conduct a spot firefight activity from here in the appropriate phase, just to test.
So those two there don't move because you want to do that from an action point of view.
It's from the firefight.
The next thing I was thinking. So the next thing is that these two dudes here, whether they want to move into this building here, because here is that line of sight there. No, I don't believe it. It's only this one here.
It's not line of sight.
So the question would, if they went into the woods, would they be better bringing it on in there rather than stacking up big chunk there?
Yeah, definitely. Because you don't want to stack everything in one square because we've seen that before. We just get killed that way.
Okay, so I think we're going to move them to there. The next thing, to get into this blue building here, is it only the yellow that you can move in? Or can,
you can breach the wall using explosives if you want.
Right now, Mark, that left-hand channel is empty, isn't it? You can't see anything there, so you could just push forward.
Yeah.
You're protected. There's nothing can see you so far.
Yeah. So here, from the square to the right of the woods to there, is that a line of sight in the open? I don't like that if it's a kill zone. So from that one there to there.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about this square here. If somebody goes forward there to there, that's a line of sight, isn't it?
Yep.
We'll go to 2 and then go forward 2 and then throw some smoke forward in the next one.
Yeah, okay.
Because in reality, what you're going to be doing is you're going to the edge of that blue building there and then looking around the corner, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's what you would be really doing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, but smoke I mean, and I've kind of questioned this before, is whether or not the smoke obscures line of sight. I know it helps modify firefight, but does it actually obscure line of sight determination?
Yeah, so you still have a line of sight.
Right.
It changes the auto spots. It's not a completely clean line of sight, so you have to roll
Right,
for
I just
it.
wanted to make sure they were aware of that.
But but like the problem with saying smoke blocks line of sight is that you effectively it's like putting a concrete wall up, and you can just run troops through it, and that's not what happens. What happens is people fire at smoke because they think people are moving in it. So I know you probably say like, well, this war film I saw it differently, but like no, people will shoot at smoke.
I don't know why. Just curious. It's probably still playing about an hour. I think I don't know. I just playing till the end. There was a curious teenager looking over my shoulder saying, "Dad, what you doing? What you doing?" Right,
Okay, so that's done.
Can you think of a useful action for these two? I think we potentially start Mousehole in there. So move them forward like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all you move.
Does that mean that behind them is now an unfriendly row of houses, and it's only movement one back in?
Yeah. If you've not got someone in it, it's considered not cleared.
Right. In that case, we'll leave one of those back there, and that's interesting because I think that's a good thing. I think
just to highlight that there are walls between these buildings, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
these are single terraced houses.
Yeah.
So you're only covering the middle one, and that's fine. But you don't get to say that this is clear and this is clear because you can't see into them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I almost feel as if to have like an evil castle talking over things that you don't know about. Yeah. Right. So we've done lots of moves. Move. That one is going to go on Overwatch then because he can.
Okay.
Might as well.
Hold on. So end of movement phase. We're now in action phase. Okay. So the first thing in the action phase is we adjust all the smoke. So all Peter's smoke gets adjusted. Happy days. Yeah.
Yeah. So action phase and Overwatch on that chap, if I can.
Okay. Yeah. I'll grab one over here.
And Overwatch on this chap here.
Well, who's doing that?
So this.
This guy. Yeah. Yeah.
So those two there. An action to get these civilians back.
Okay. Roll the D10.
How do I roll?
Press R.
It's R. That's right. Okay. Is it? R. There we go.
No chance.
Oh, it's on a 10 and it rolled onto a 1. Yes. Quite. The next thing will get your bad rolls away is an action to bring this drawn down to low, and I suppose even with smoke, is obscuring the spot there. It's going to go at some point, but it's just positioning itself.
Change to low. That's fine. That's the action. Yeah.
And then let's talk about seeing this chap over here. These two boys there.
Okay, hold on. So just like you have to stay to the phases because this is where things get confusing. So are you done with all your actions? Because spotting is not an action. Spotting is a prelude to firefight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so we now go to firefight. So eligible is this.
Yeah.
And you want to spot and engage this if it's real, yeah?
Yes, please. It looks suspicious.
Okay. So we're going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to my rules.
So that we know.
Yeah, it's not an auto spot. This is an action to spot it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so there is a single target, right? Positive is do your spotting elements. So first thing you need to do, Mark, is reveal what you're spotting with. Okay.
Do I
so
get better if both of them do it?
everyone is doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is the cost benefit thing. You've now revealed that you're doing this because these guys are now making a real effort to see, so they're not being stealthy. Okay. You have got a marksman, and this is how we fact check it, because otherwise you're just like, yeah, I've got a marksman. I've got a marksman and everything. Okay. So you're on a +2 because you've got a marksman.
Yep.
Nothing moved in the target space, so you don't get that. You don't have a TQ higher than your opponent because we played it evens for this one. And for every and you get +1 if it's in the open, and you're 3 stories higher. Nope. Okay. And then decreasing if it's rubble, smoke, dust, spotting via yellow, which you're not, and if your TQ is low, which is not. So you're on a +2.
D10.
Yeah. Hold on. Just so the number of spaces you've got to count is 7.
Yeah.
Beyond auto spot, so it's 2 beyond auto spot. Okay.
Sorry, am I ready to roll the
Yeah,
dice?
roll it. Roll it.
What did I roll? 6.
Okay, 6 + 2 is 8. So 6 to 10, which is a positive result. So you have spotted. So Peter would now reveal what is there. Okay, it's a dummy.
Oh no!
Okay, so we get to rehide your elements. Now, Mark, you're probably thinking like, well, how has that worked? Like, he's seen what I had there. Like, yeah, you have revealed what you had there, but you're now rehidden, so he can't engage you. He's still got to spot you. But that's the only way we could do it without just everyone believing that they've got snipers in every blue icon.
That's cool. I'll just give me away from the keyboard 30 seconds. Back in a moment.
Yeah. All right. So now we move to the admin phase, the auto spot, etc. So this would have been an auto spot were this smoke not here, but it is here. Okay. So this turn, it's not going to see. Everyone happy with that?
Yep.
Well, I would say though that like you could keep throwing smoke every turn to block this, right? But you have confirmed that there's a real something there because they're throwing smoke. So if we had a strike precision missile thing targeting that building would make a lot of sense.
Correct.
So it might look a bit gamey where you're like, you can't see me because I'm throwing smoke. But it's like I know you're there now, and you're also not doing anything else of utility because you're just throwing smoke.
So just a question on fires. I mean, we were talking about that a bit earlier on, Ed. That hasn't worked its way through into the rules yet?
Which bit, sorry?
Fires, artillery and/or mortar.
So the issue I've got is you can't call any artillery with this spacing. It's too close. Yeah, the only thing you could call is some kind of precision weapon. But having it as a pre-game saturation bombardment thing, I have got a mechanism to do that. But we haven't played it because we haven't gone through that for this.
Yeah, it's all danger close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all hugely danger close.
Yeah,
and that's one of the problems that the Urban Phalanx was saying is like that you lack the ability to call for fire. That ergo you need to have organic stuff with you. So if we then put in the ability to delete buildings, we won't see the utility of having organic fire in the platoon.
Yeah.
So here's a question, Ed. The drone has come down to low level now. When does it get to spot?
We just did that, Mark. So if this were not here, you would now get auto spot because you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're auto spot. Yeah, because it is there. It's an obstructed line of sight.
Cool.
Okay, so it doesn't auto spot.
We are. So does that get a combat spot next turn, or? So
the reason I haven't got it doing a combat spot is because it isn't actually a combat unit. It's
it is tick.
It's
like that.
So at the moment you're just gonna have to wait for the smokes to clear. But we already went through the fact that that is revealing that someone is in that building. So you could now you now know something that the enemy of all the dummies that were on the board, you now know that this is probably a building that you want to get eyes on to shoot at.
Okay, because that means that we're forcing Red to burn his smoke if he wants to. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that.
And you've got 3 of these drones, and you've only used one of them, and already it's having you've got 1 per section. Yeah.
Okay.
But what I would say is you've got a section commander who hasn't moved for the entire entire game because he's just been acting to fly this drone around.
Yeah.
Now that's going to become an issue when you start taking suppression and you want to rally.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that it's in a good spot there, you probably want to start moving him up. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, good call.
Okay,
I'm going to claim moral high ground of naffy reinforcements of a can of lager now. So if,
go for it. Okay, Red. Any movement you want to do?
Yes. Oops. I am moving here.
Cool.
And then I'm going to play something really stupid, but I'm going to take a risk.
Oh, nice. The tunnels, Pete. Ian, this is for you.
Brilliant, thank you.
Just want to read it out, Peter.
Yeah, hold on. All right, being able to move troops and supplies underground is a huge advantage in an urban fight, provided the attacker does not identify and target them. Play during your movement phase. Move up to 4 hidden elements from one structure to another friendly occupied structure up to 10 spaces away. So what I did is I just occupied this building, and then now I'm going to move 4 pieces to that building. Now, the risk I'm taking is that I'm horribly grouped up. So depending upon what's over here, I'm taking a risk, but I'm doing it. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait. They need to all be in the same structure that you're moving from. If that's not clear, I can clarify it. So basically you're saying there's a tunnel entrance here and there's a tunnel exit here.
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
Well, that's okay. That kind of screws that. Let me fix this then.
That's an excellent mechanism.
What I would suggest, Peter, is this, because this is about to get targeted. Why don't you leave this building?
Yeah,
because that's what the drone's spotting.
Yeah.
I'll let you play around with it however you want, but that's the.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me put these guys back where they were, though. Let's see.
I was going to say, Ed, if that's it, wait till I finish this. I hate that because it's a good mechanism. It introduces into the game a level of unpredictability that's good.
Yeah. So the downside is that someone's then like, well, can I go back the same way and it's not marked and all the rest of it? Like, we could mark it, but there's ways we can then play around with this. Then do we have multiple cards?
Right,
it's intelligent play. You're not playing chess against somebody. You're actually going through.
I do want to have a sewer system kind of link up as well, but this is the idea of a personalized tunnel system that they've done.
Yep. As a suggestion, Ed, I think on the edge of the map you should have letters and numbers for rows and columns, a bit like a chessboard, so that you could just note, C1 to D4. There's a tunnel.
Yeah, I think
that's
doable.
I am going to go ahead and
that
move.
Yep.
One.
There's no admin there, but you could do that so that only Red would know what that was until Blue finds it. But Blue would have to go into the tunnel to pop up the other end.
Yeah, you could also have it marked on the back of these because these are not visible to the attacker. Only the defender can. The theory being the defender knows the buildings, so they know which ones have basements and stuff in.
Yeah,
I mean, other things could actually be potentially one-time use anyhow. In the sense that the people who know it have moved through it.
Okay.
And I don't think I have everything's moved, so you can go one more.
Okay, but we're gonna remove all the smoke that's dispersing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And firefight. Any firefighting?
Well, these guys already moved, so
They'll move. No, that's fine. Awesome.
Is there any? It's not an auto spot then, but those troops appearing in the density of 4 red blocks in front of those 2 blue blocks. what's the potential of the reveal then?
Yeah, there is. This is an auto spot, but we're dealing with that at the end of the turn.
Right. Okay.
If it so, what might be, if you guys are happy, what just to get us to actually do a contact. Although Blue's going to do it next turn, we could assume that these hadn't moved. We would then effectively conduct a fire attack. It would be automatically spotted because you're in the open within 10.
Yeah.
But you're going to fire back next turn, so like we're going to get this shoot anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so
yeah, fitted.
Okay, so no firefighting. So admin. So this is now an auto spot. So this is Red's auto spot. So the first question is, Mark, is there anything that's a dummy here? If so, please remove it.
There's no dummies.
Okay, next.
They may feel like dummies because they're in front of enemy.
Back to Peter. Are there any dummies here? Please remove them. Okay, put them back to your supply, and then you would just drop these down, which I'll do.
Could somebody better? I was going to say somebody better than myself could. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our first sighting now. So Peter, I'm now going to let you start bringing on stuff from next turn.
Very good. That's what I wanted to happen, but I wanted it to happen when I had him in position. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
And to be fair, you did say you just kind of threw your guys out, but what you would needed to do is position weapon systems to cover the avenue so that you could have engaged Blue way back sort of here.
Right. Well, let's see what happens.
This would have been a rooftop position here would have been a really good one, but a really obvious one as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get to bring both sections. Where can I bring these on?
Next turn, I'll let you bring them on from the edge, from anywhere along that map edge.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the end of the turn. Consumables, please, gentlemen. Dev, your water.
Right, it's 4 down and 2 back up, isn't it? So I'm down to 10 net.
Awesome.
And let's see. I don't think I marked.
Consider this the middle game of the thing. So it's certainly gone past the opening sort of jumping around. This is the meat of the sandwich. I think.
Is everyone happy with how the phases work? Is it flowing faster? Is it clearer?
I think so.
I think it's fine. Yeah. You got to remember to read it all. I mean, you got to make sure you go slowly.
The only change we would do with the advanced rules is we'd add that C2 disruption, so you would not be able to move everything, which would make the game go faster. And because you're not dicing for each individual thing, you just roll once and then you count down those number of activations. You would have even less stuff to move each time.
Ian at DSET's going to have a crowd of people around that table pointing and asking questions. I can tell you that. They're going to, if they saw this game being played out a little bit, they would. Yeah. It would. Ooh,
well, the good thing as well, Ian, is you can give them the capability cards to and the vehicle cards. So there's stuff for them to look at without touching the board, as it were, and messing up.
Yeah. So should I move all my counters away at this point?
Yes. Yeah. And we're back to turn 5, back to Blue movement.
Right, I've done all the the logistics, which is just the water for myself. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I take care of that.
And Peter, you can move all your markers away as well.
Right. So this is Blue movement, yeah?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I'll move that commander up because we know
that counter that could be a commander or could not be. But the fact that you've acted there also does reveal where your commanders are. So there is an element about.
Hang on a second before I'm going to take that back a second if you don't mind. Let me just think what I want to do here, because we want to progress down the right hand side with this unit here. The drone though has the opportunity of catching people in the open for an auto spot.
Yeah, it does.
But it's the low at present. If he went up to high, would he see them?
Not from there, no.
You'd have to move. Even so.
So you currently, I think I'd give you that auto spot to that square.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have to move. I wouldn't have to have the commander stationary.
No, the commander can move. It's just if the drone does something different. Because the operator is still looking at the console. It's just that he's not doing anything about what the drone. He's not moving the drone.
Right. Ian, I'm going to move the commander up then and leave that drone there because he's going to get something.
Yeah, sure.
Shout if I'm being silly. So yeah, put him back as a moved dude.
So just as a reminder, Ed, you can only move the drone if you're stationary as a commander.
Yeah, so moving the drone or interacting with the drone is an action by a leader.
Yeah.
And again, like the idea is that there's one drone per leader, so you should be moving that leader's drone. But again, that could be a bit too complicated to do. So it's just one drone per leader.
Yep.
And then you can like change height, move it, or you can attack with the drone if the drone is armed, or like an LM as well.
Does the leader have to be in the open?
And to recover the drone.
Yeah.
Right.
But does the leader have to be stationary to spot what's coming in, or can they once it's in order to move the drone? Do you have to be stationary?
Okay, so you can't move and act in the same turn, right? So if you're going to move the drone, you can't have moved because you've acted with the drone. The drone will see everything it's supposed to see as part of its auto spotting.
Yep.
And that's how the drone works. So you will be aware of what's happening, but you'll not be able to move or attack with the drone unless you've acted with the drone controller, which is the leader. So because there's not a blind spot when the drone is like the leader's moving and the drone is therefore blind. The drone is still seeing. The operator is still operating it, but they're not moving it because they're too busy following the leader around.
Yep, got you.
Awesome. Right, we're going to get some combat here. I'm excited.
Okay, I hope we're taking screenshots.
It's being recorded.
Cool. You're an Overwatch, which is good. So,
You have also got this loitering munition, which you can pick the payload, whether it be an anti-tank payload or a HE payload.
right, I think we've chanced our arm with respect to getting those civilians moved, so I'm going to move this dude up.
I think you've just dropped out, Mark, from the game. You're still in the voice channel, but you're no longer moving anything.
Do something. Was I taken out by a sniper?
That was my
Not by
yeah.
not by me.
Electronic
Just Ian does to me. He sort of. Not yet. Not yet. No.
Yeah.
A little bit. Oh, that's better. All right, okay. Right. Okay. So left to right. Did it come across here? No, there's some things to do here.
Yeah, Peter, I'm just going to steal this card from Mark and give it to you for later.
Okay.
Those dudes. I'm going to push hard to the right. Now, what's this building here? That's a 4. Is that right?
It's a church tower.
Church. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna boldly go. So they've moved. Moves.
Were you adjacent to that at the start of the turn?
I was at a 45 degrees, not in front of it, to the right hand side.
Yeah,
so
you were there, right? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just checking you didn't do two moves to get in.
Right, okay, yeah. So because I can't go into the church tower from here, I can go in. I take it.
Yeah, that's your whole move. What you've done there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, from line of sight, from those revealed reds, I don't think I'm in danger if I do that.
You get it's the aperture from the window.
Okay, so because is it 3 foot? It kind of it's the first
It's
3
3,
foot,
5,
and then 5.
like 7.
Yeah, but that's a block with it. I need some more move counters. Oh, there's a moved over there. All right, so they've moved up there. So they're basically surging forward.
Okay, all good.
Yeah, but he says. So those two.
Stop. You doing it again? So is that all your movement done?
No. There's plenty more. 1, 2, 3. There, he's moved there as well. If you could move down on there as well.
Have these moved in there, or are they still?
Not yet. They're going to move though. I'd suggest. Don't want to get into too much trouble. We're taking those buildings, which is great. We're moving stuff up to the right-hand side, troops to the back. These boys are going to go get forward. But I'm a bit worried about here. There's a leader and a section facing off against enemy there, which seems to be, what is it? It's is it an RPG and a section as well? Because my feeling is that they want to bug left out of line of sight. Otherwise, that if they shoot, I don't think they're going to win the firefight.
Because we haven't had any shots, I think let's just do the shoot to
Okay.
allow that aspect of the game.
I'm going to move those to the left.
You can't move through them, Mark, because that's a wall.
Ah, bugger. Right.
You can mouse all that if you want, but that'll be an action.
I'm going to actually go 1, 2, 3 with the. Oh, yep. that guy's it's a law, isn't it? Take that Overwatch off. So
the LMG.
Its use against a building is limited, isn't it?
That's an LMG gunner you've got there.
Oh, it's an LMG. Okay. In that case, I'll put the LMG there. That will have line of sight across to that. Is that true or false?
Yeah, that will have line of sight.
Okay, so you can come in next turn, effectively. Right, he's going to be supporting fire across there, so we can use the same movement motion. You're going to fire there. We're going to.
Okay, so just so you got all your movement done? No, it's still 2 more.
No, last one's. I'm surging forward. I think this might be hated by the men that I'm in control of.
Okay. Action phase.
Oh.
I don't think you've got anything that can act.
Well, it's just the auto spot for those 2 things there that I'm hoping for, and then we'll be doing a bit of firing.
That's not quite on that phase yet. So we go to, if there's no action, there's no smoke to adjust, we go to firefight. So Mark, you want to fire with these at that, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand by for the procedure. So you declare the fire attack, state all the firing elements that are going to fire on this target.
But it's the leader in a section, isn't it?
A leader and a rifle pair. Okay. If they reveal all firing elements, already done. If the target is hidden, you must first do a spotting roll. Don't need to worry about that. Resolve each fire attack in sequence, starting with the strongest firepower value element. They're both the same. So that doesn't matter. Okay. let's do positives. +1 of target stationary, troop quality. Okay, additional element in the target space beyond the first one. So that's +1. You're not above the story. You're not adjacent, so you're on a +1. Firing into a green aperture, no effect. Each friendly enemy adjacent target, no.
Cover of the wall.
Yep, getting to that. Getting to that. So you have a firepower value of 1. You're on a +1 because there's additional element there. So that's 2. And then you minus the cover factor, which is 2, which is medium. Okay, so it's a 0 for 0. So just roll 1d6.
Okay.
Sorry, 1d10.
One quick question for, I'm just kind of thinking future. See those 2 units there? Are they actually blocked by the friendly troops, or can they fire through to that target?
I think I have mentioned it in the rules. I'm just going to get to it later.
Pretty sure
We won't do it
if
this
you're
turn. Yeah.
if you're on a different elevation.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, is it better if they were like so? If they want to all concentrate on that? Thinking I'm trying to win the firefight.
I wouldn't put them there because you'll be in the beaten zone for red shoot.
All right. Okay. So they're basically okay.
Okay. So just roll a d10. Roll a d10.
Right. Wish me luck, gents. It's all in the dice. 7. Am I rolling this right?
You just dropped it. If you want, I'll roll it for you.
Yeah, please do. It's kind of a competent roller, please.
Okay, 7. Okay, so that is a hit.
Yep.
So you now don't need to roll for the other. I think. Let me just check this. I don't think you need to roll for the other one. Let me just check. Because we have a hit.
Are you doing it 1 for 1, or are you going to do it against the whole, like, 1 roll?
It's against the whole. It's against the space because
Right.
these aren't precision units. So
Okay.
let me just do.
Yeah, I knew they'd both get potentially hit, but I just didn't know if you were going to combine the roll.
Okay.
If I've got this right, because you've rolled a 7, you also lose an ammo counter. Is that correct?
Yes, for this is a good point actually, because I was saving dice roll on the 2 hit because Mark, just roll again. I'll roll the d10 again.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. 6. That's also hits. That's 2. 2 hits. And it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for rifles. So that's 2 ammo expended on your small arms ammo account.
Yeah. Are you doing that for me, or should I do it?
I'll let you do it, Mark.
There's my ammo. Let's have a look.
Okay, so now Peter gets to roll his d10 to see what the effect is. We're going to roll by individual unit. So roll for the law first.
I rolled a 5 for the law.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any other modifiers to that at all.
Okay, so minus the cover value again, so -2, and we're employing half the small arms value, which is 1, so it's a 0. -2, so -2 to what you've got. That's going to be a suppression.
Okay, let's find a marker. Where are you? Here you go. Oh shoot, wrong one. Sorry.
I got it.
Oh,
Double.
darn it. Give me a second.
Just copy one from the back row.
No, wait, it was over.
back.
There you go.
What the hell am I doing? Alright, wrong one. Give me a second.
Yeah. It's the
Law.
it's that one you want, yeah. I'll replace it in the back row for you. There you go. Done. Okay, so they're both going to be suppressed regardless, but we just want to roll again for the leader. Ooh,
Leader.
minus,
Is there a leader
minus,
there?
yeah, the platoon leader's there. -2 from an 8 is a 6, which is a light wound. So take the leader off. You're going to lose
That's a
2
good
points
break
for
for
this.
us.
Oh, actually, I'll do this with you guys. Grab the light wound. Yeah. Okay, I've got it. There you go.
And at the same time, Ed, you're also going to lose a medical counter there as well, aren't you?
No.
Yes,
So you
because
use it.
the individual with that kit has lost theirs. So yeah, they lose 1 med. Yeah. Okay. So Mark's dev is 2 ammo. Okay, you've taken it. You've taken a leader casualty. We're taking a casualty, so suffer casualty -2. So I'm going to move this to the 2 space here. Okay, and that is suppressed. That's all the firefighting you're going to do, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm all done there. The only thing that sort of I'm interested in is kind of the drone spot in the later phase, or is that in the admin?
Okay. Yeah. So if we go to the admin phase now, in terms of auto spotting, that is So
Well, 2 of my units are auto spotted, aren't they? Because they're out in the open. These 2 back here. From that, even though they're suppressed, they're being seen to.
yeah, I mean, you can just reveal them because you know that there's an enemy there, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'll just move the counters away as well.
Okay, and can you reveal those, please? So he's in the open space. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Happy days. Right. I think we're going to stop the turn sequence to try and just do some deliberate stuff that we've not explored. Would that be useful?
Yep.
Because this is the problem with the pure playtest is you don't necessarily get the situations that you want. What do people want to playtest?
Hey, one thing I do need to leave. My family has returned to the cabin here.
No worries.
So why don't I can leave this running though if you want to take over, Red, and do some of the things you wanted to show.
Yeah, that's all good. Anything off the top of your head, Peter, that you think needs to be looked at?
Well, I don't know if you were planning on any an MBT fall showing up or anything like that. I don't know. Throw a surprise in there for show a little bit of the maybe. I don't know if you want to make it a little easier. Maybe make it an IFE and kind of doing that infantry and infantry vehicle combined.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Cool. I'm gonna keep this running and I'm gonna keep taping it, but I do need to drop off. All right, I'll mute myself.
Ed, were you happy with blue play? Because we were kind of fairly, I'm going to call it aggressive and going forward. And it seemed we didn't know what we were going to hit. The fact that we hit I'm going to call it an information post or listening post more than and fog of war, it shows you the advantage of actually trying to take the initiative. Because blue seems quite well developed. We have come across scenarios when there's lots of dummies, and if you hang back, you're passing the initiative. Is that one of the lessons you wanted to bring through here on this?
Yeah, it depends. I think you kind of played quite a broad spread out frontage, which was good. I expect most military officers, if they got this, would do a section per building, so 4 counters per building.
Yep.
Which is not good for game terms, but but for command and control stuff is good.
I was going to say
having a deliberate foot on the ground, like one section moving, one section static. You kind of had everything moving every turn.
Yeah.
Okay,
so maybe we're playing the game mechanisms then.
That's fine because we're testing the game mechanisms out. So.
I would just comment that the fantastic thing about this is because the build is modular for each of the battlefields that you do. I mean, it's fresh every time. That's the key thing. It really is.
Yeah, and so this is not how I would like it to be a printed map. I wanted these to all be specific tiles, but in the interest of time, this is what I did, because the idea is that if someone says like, well, what if, when we had that conversation about if there was a tree there, for example, we just move the tree. We say, okay, the tree's now there. Carry on.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we turn this from a 2-story building to a 4-story building. What does that do? We don't have to go back to a map and print a new map. And you know, what if this building was turned 90 degrees? Okay, turn it 90 degrees. You know, because the whole idea is to sort of like you can create the situations you want to explore in the game, not just have to wait for them to happen. Like red play in this example has been slightly further back than I would have hoped, because that's why we haven't had contacts up to this point. And the sort of use of the drone and the ISR sweep reduced this number of dummies, which allowed you to move more confidently. But that's all good, like logical feedback mechanisms. So I'm happy with that. And the reason I didn't want them to have all the red on straight away was because that just creates a bit of an unrealistic expectation to be covering everything with a platoon, and I don't think that's like you've chosen this point of attack. This platoon have chosen this point of attack. So red doesn't know you're attacking here. Red is probably covering 2 of these boards and then has a 3rd squad in depth. So the idea is that they're coming over from those other spaces once they've worked out that you're not coming in those other areas. So that's why I didn't let him have everything at the start.
And from my point of view, I mean, naively, I would just say that if you set a scenario up, it's almost as valuable just to be able to talk through what that scenario means, as you would say. You know, if I flip a building this way versus that way, that's where the teaching comes in. The gameplay is actually, I think, is secondary almost, in the way that it's so modular. It's good to do the gameplay, but the fact that you can just flip buildings around and say, well, what if, very quickly, that's really valuable, I think. It makes it unique.
You got pretty lucky here because you took out the platoon commander the first shoot of the entire game.
Well, one question I have is that sort of, I think the middle of the board, blue, are those units there actually auto spotted now? These 4 here against that dude. I don't know if because this is blue movement, isn't it? Or I just...
Yes, to be fair, if that is real, then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
so that's probably a mistake by me.
Yeah, it's both ways, Mark, as well. So it's So this is the idea of the game as well, to find points where you can observe to then engage. But this is a marksman piece. So this marksman piece can only shoot at one thing. Probably going to shoot at the platoon commander element. So we could do that as an example. We could do that as an example to. So it's a plus. Yeah, I'm just doing it as a bespoke example. So it's a 7 + 3. You're in the open. So that's automatically going to be a hit. You've got no cover. Marksman carries over, so it's a +3 again. So that would be a 10. That'd be a kill.
So it's me with my pants down. Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, true to form, I usually use a leader. Oh, bugger. Yeah. Which is not good. Okay.
Yeah. And again, guys, the idea of this tracker on the side is that time is moving from left to right. Red VPs come down one side, blue VPs come down the other side, as in lost VPs, as it were. And if at the end of the game, blue is left of the time marker, then that's considered a loss, and red is right of the time marker, then that's considered a loss.
That's it. That's cool. So from what I've seen before, we've got extract wounded as an extra addition to that. So when you talk about extract wounded, is that off the board?
Yeah, off the board. Yeah. Now I've called it wounded, not dead. But again, this is where blue could have so blue loses 2 points for a casualty. They could gain 2 points for extracting the wounded, and they could gain 1 point for extracting the dead, and red don't. So there's all these tunes you can play on the things without really messing with the mechanic, as it were.
That's cool.
Because again, because again, there's no game incentive to extract your wounded otherwise. there's also the fact that the leader is now dead. So what we would be doing on this, where did he put him? He put him back here. So we would now put him on the turn track on the time he died, which is this turn.
Yep.
Which is obviously not going to work because of the way this thing works. And then as he moves beyond it, he will roll, adding that time lapse again and his initiative level, and then he will against his initiative level. And once he hits it, he'll then be able to replace it with another element and get his leader back effectively.
Yeah.
There's a blue leader as well. That's oops, into the threes.
Yeah. So we would have done that on the next turn, in effect. So that would be there. But you have two of these because you have a platoon sergeant who instantly steps up. So this one here.
Yep.
You can still go through the process of stepping up another leader to do it.
Yep.
But it's just that difference between sort of Western doctrine and Russian idea of not having an NCO call. That's what that's kind of trying to represent, as it were.
Interesting.
We haven't done CQB, so I'd like to do a quick CQB, and then I need to head as well.
Okay.
So the bit we haven't really tested is the vehicles, but the idea, guys, is that the details on this card, this icon is just a generic representation. So you could have multiple different IFVs, and you need to kind of keep track of which one's which, etc. But that way, you only need to produce a couple of standard counters, and then you can have 55 different vehicles, and you get away from all that weird and wonderful stuff going on. Okay, so a CQB example. I think we should set up a little mini one here. So I'll put two red in this house. Mark, just using the sort of guys around here, just imagine you were trying to assault this house and just put out how you do it, and then we'll go into it.
Excuse me as I fumble around the tabletop simulator. I haven't been living in here. So, two men there. How many am I going to have? Is it? Are we looking for 3-1 odds or?
Well, I would just stick those four guys forward. So you got 2-1, and just see what you got, and go from one green and one yellow aperture.
So what might be a good example is having the marksman up here doing a shoot onto, and you'd be able to see them because of so it's a rifle and a machine gunner. So I would have that happening in the turn previously. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's just say, for the sake of example, that they do a suppression. Okay. So we're going slightly backwards. So it's your movement phase. You're in this church building. You want to move to assault this building. Okay. So so if you're getting far from this side, it would make sense to try and go in from this yellow and this green.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. Do you, in your assaults, use smoke to your advantage or not? Or do you just...
Yeah, so it's always a good idea to throw some smoke, but in the terms of the gamers, I mean, you're gonna have to gap somebody to do that.
Right.
Which again might be a thing. You seem to be missing a leader here, so I'm just going to borrow a leader for a second just to do this. So the leader's going to go in, right? So so we'll do that
section. Yeah.
So you've got that, and then let's say you're going to be throwing smoke from here with this other marksman.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was your move, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that suppression means they don't take incoming fire. Is that correct, or is it incoming fire but reduced?
Basically, they can't do anything. Okay, so you would have thrown smoke there. Okay, so we would have had, in terms of gameplay, we'd have had a move,
Yep.
a move, an act, and that would have been a shoot. Okay, but that would have all been one turn. Okay.
Yep.
Now, because you'd have moved there would have been a minus points for the shoot, but because there'd have been a -4 because it's a marksman with a good positive. So this is also the issue of if you were firing in support, there's a danger you hit your own guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is,
Do you want to do this twice, as in sort of one with a happy path like you suggested there, then conversely when they're not suppressed, and see what happens?
well, this is the thing. This has happened the turn before, right? So we need to move. And this is the point about an assault takes at least 2 turns to do. So this is turn 1 of the assault, as it were, right?
Yep.
Okay, and they've acted right. We would then go through the red bit. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, and when we get to the admin bit, it says remove suppression. So in the basic, without disruption, they'll just go away. Okay, and you need to do this again. In the advanced game, you get disruption on, which means that there's a potential that they could rally, etc., but just not this turn. Okay.
Yeah.
We go back to your next go. Now I've changed this slightly, so I did have it where you could move straight on, but I think the easier thing to do is have movement as part of the CQB phase if you're moving onto an enemy.
Yep.
Because now you get to do it again. You get to do action again, so you could have another smoke. You could have another smoke thrown. Okay, which is them again. And then effectively you could fire again with this, and again you could say that you could say that you've pinned them or not, etc. Yeah, you want to do that?
I'm interested. Yeah, go for it, because it could go either way. It could hurt ourselves, or could hurt the enemy, or do nothing. So,
well, with a 4, it's definitely a no, because it's +3, but it's +1 for the additional target, but -4. So it's +4, but -4 because of the structure being hard, and it's then -4 for the number of adjacent units. So it'd be well, and with that, you'd have actually hit one of your friendlies according to the.
Yeah.
All right, let's take.
I think.
It's warts and all, as it were. This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a micro mechanics, and it's fantastic to see.
Roll to hit the space for the most friendly elements. So that would be, again, much of a muchness, but it would make sense for it to be this one because it's this side. So
the leader count is actually a less number of people, so you've hit the most to the left, I guess.
So you've rolled to hit 5 + 1 + 3. So yeah, that's a hit, and then I don't know which, again, because it's a sniper one, so that's just a suppression. So that would. Oh no, it would. Sorry, it'd be a 6 because it's 3 + 3. So yeah, in theory, one of these would then be a casualty.
Cool.
Okay.
Be a minor casualty.
Well, let's go for it. Let's put a minor casualty down.
Bloody Pavlov's house, isn't it?
Right. So we now got an assault by 3 onto 2.
No, we have left the key right here.
Yeah. Now this probably isn't going to go very well because of the numbers, but
yeah, that's cool.
Just, okay. So again, you can place them on top of each other, or we can just do it looking at this. So we get our little battle board out.
Yep.
And then we're going to start giving advantage or disadvantage dice. So firstly, blue has got 3 assaulting elements. Okay.
Yep.
So you'd start off with 3 blue die, and red has got 3. Red has got 2 unsuppressed, so they're going to start with 2 d10s straight away because they're not suppressed. Okay. Okay. Advantage for your side. Is a leader present?
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's cool. I like that actually.
Okay.
I like that now. That's cool. You look like Hulk Hogan.
Do you have capability card advantage? So you do have a ballistic shield. So let's play that now.
These capability cards are a game changer, I have to say that. It brings in more flavour.
So that downgrades 1 to a d6.
Yep.
Right, are you attacking downwards? No. Attacking to a basement? No. Attacking via a yellow aperture? Yes, one of you is attacking via a yellow aperture.
Yeah.
So a yellow aperture is actually a narrow aperture, and that's
Yeah,
to the blue's
Yeah, but
advantage, is it?
the idea is that you have got So like rather than
restricted to
attacking
the
through the
front.
obvious doorway, the obvious window, you're trying to get through a really shallow point, but you can only send 2 units through. So that's why if you want to then gang up, you need to use like another aperture as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mind doing it like that.
Using a non-pre-made entry, no. Okay, defender only advantages, attacking upwards, no. Each element that's not suppressed, I did that. Defending via a green aperture or internal space. So they are defending via a green aperture. Okay, so they would get
Right, I think, yeah.
Back to
I
the
think
D10,
that-
yeah.
that's what it is,
Yeah.
and then come back and do your
Wow, okay.
hot collaborative.
if retreat is not possible, which is not the case. So defending a building has been prepared, no. Building is hard cover, and attackers are entering from outside. Yeah, so but they can only have up to as many die as they have elements, yeah? So that's the key point.
Yep.
Right, so you don't reduce a blue because of that. You actually sort of say, well, okay, there's only so much good you can get from a defensive
Yeah, I'm
position.
trying to. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to basically roll these, right?
All of this was for me.
Yep.
Didn't mean to roll that one. Let's roll these all again. Okay. Right.
Because it's interesting, by going from D6 to D10, you're saying you still got the range of 1 to 6, but potentially it could be very much better. But you can still roll low.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get to is the idea that there's a lot of chance in CQB, and you
Yes.
can't just say like, well, if I do this, I'm going to win. So the D10 gives you 4 possible higher outcomes, but you could still roll a 1. So, but it's not like saying +4, because then you really are shifting it. So we then compare it highest to lowest. So this 10 wins, goes into the middle. This 5 wins, goes into the middle. So let me just confirm if this is an automatic win or not, because it's higher than this 2. Or if it's ignored. But effectively, it's the number of wins that does it.
Right, I'm with you. You're saying with blue's advantage throwing 3 dice might be the fact that it gives you more chance to roll, but if you don't roll higher than that,
so I've got ignore any excess die. Die cannot be increased higher than their max value. Higher die beat lower die. Ties are considered in favor of the defender. Losing die result in forced retreats by that side's element. So we would have red would need to retreat 1.
Yep.
Blue would need to retreat 1.
Yep.
Wherever it is, and then
well, tactically, I would take it off the green thing unless we're inside.
Yep, but that's the idea is you're fighting in, but because you're on the outside, you kind of retreat back to your start point, which is still on the outside. And then we've got a 1-for-1. So effectively, it's who still holds the ground at the end. So red still holds the ground.
Yep.
And then
because he hasn't been exceeded.
Yeah, because he's still got 1 there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.